Hey everybody, it is just Carlo, and in this video, we host a painting party. Look at all these people who came out to paint. Geocaching, it's not just about going out and exploring new places, but it's also about community. And hosting events is a part of that community. Now we've been to a few events ourselves, including a park cleanup where we removed some invasive plants. We've gone to picnics, celebrations. Now, one of the biggest events of all is coming up. Geowoodstock XVIII is happening in less than a month away. This is a giga event, and that means that there are more than 5,000 geocachers from all over the world are coming and expected to participate. It's happening in Abbotsford, British Columbia, in the Fraser Valley on the traditional territories of the Musqueam and the Sumas First Nations. So since we've started geocaching, I don't think I've ever been to an event that had more than 30 or 40 people. So 5,000 people gathering to celebrate this game that we love just sounds pretty wild. We're gonna be there, but not only that, when we registered, we signed up to do some volunteer duties. So back in May, I was contacted to see if I would like to help put together what's called an Instagram playground. This is an area of Geowoodstock that folks can pose with props, take selfies, and we needed a backdrop. So our mission was to paint a couple of large backdrops for this Instagram playground. Large as in like 8 feet tall by 9 feet wide. So we started planning this with other volunteers, and we thought a lot about what we could do with the time that we had. We drew a lot of inspiration from the work of Emily Carr, who is one of the most well-known artists in the history of our province here. As we approached mid-June throughout this planning stages, we hadn't done any painting yet. I started to get a little bit nervous, and now I enjoy painting, but it's been a while since I did any large format projects, and it really did feel like a daunting task to have to do two big 8 by 9 foot paintings. So we had to try to think of a different solution. So I emailed some of the other coordinators that were part of this, and I said, why don't we host a event? We'll host a painting event, a painting party, and that way other geocachers can come and actually help paint. That meant we had a little bit of added pressure of hosting a pre-event. It was a lot of work. We still had to pick up all the materials, kind of the big canvas, the paints. We had to prepare the canvas. We had to pick up the frame that these were going to be stretched on. A local geocacher named Professor P, he built the frame and showed me how to assemble it. I had to pick that up and bring it home and actually prepare them for painting. Here's a shot of the canvases in our apartment condo as I prepared them prior to our painting event. Took over floor to ceiling in our living room, and that was the state of our home for about a week leading up to this painting party. So we did outlines of the artwork that we're gonna put up, and basically it just ends up being a giant coloring sheet. So anybody with varying levels of experience can come along, and we welcome everybody of all different kinds of painting experience. We also had to scout out a park that was close to home, and it needed to have a covered area in case it rained, access to water for washing up. We had to do a Costco run to pick up all the snacks and drinks and other supplies that we might have needed. So July 9 comes around. It's a day of our painting party. The event starts at 10 a.m. We get to the park at around 7:15 in the morning, which was a good thing because the park gets really busy and it's first come, first serve if you want a covered picnic area. And there were already people there setting up for all-day barbecues and picnics. We were lucky we managed to secure a spot, and we still had to assemble the frame, mount the canvases, mix paints, get the snack table all set up, get some water for the washing station, and then we just had to wait. We had to wait for people to show up. But I was still nervous about who was gonna be there, about the weather, but you know, it was a beautiful day. We had about 30 geocachers come out and some Muggle friends to help paint these two big canvases. We had coffee and snacks and music, and we even had someone from Geocaching HQ come and join our event. Jesse, geocaches by the name JT Coffee, drove up from Seattle to spend the day in Vancouver to do a bunch of geocaching, and it decided to have our event part of her schedule. So that was very cool. What else? We also raffled off some Geowoodstock Geo coins. We had a copy of the Greatest Treasure geocaching comic book that we raffled off. This was done by Rich Schleifer, Komikino, and Joshua Jackson, of course, the geocaching vlogger. So we raffled off one of those comics. And as an extra incentive, we hid a geocache in the park about a week earlier, and we asked that it be published the morning of our painting party. Folks came for the paint, and they had an opportunity to find a new geocache that was nearby. Kai and Camilo named this one. Geocache is called Jeff Needs Friends. So that's Jeff. Go come and find him if you're in the Burnaby Foreshore area. I think everyone had a fun time, and I'm so happy that it went well and so thankful and so grateful for all the folks who came to participate. In the 2 hours time that we had together, we managed to get a lot done. We had a lot of paint covering all the square footage of these canvases. And what's cool is that skill level, it didn't matter. There was something for everyone to do, whether they had experience painting or not. In the end, we wrote everyone's names who participated on the backs of the canvases. Now we can properly acknowledge all the contributors who came to paint that day. When we started geocaching, I imagined it to be a fairly solitary hobby. You know, we'd go out, we'd look for containers hidden in the woods. But I'm glad that we did start attending some of these events, and I'm really glad that we had an opportunity to host an event. I think everything in this whole endeavor kind of lit a creative fire, and I'm really happy to be a part of this project, and I'm really happy that so many people had an opportunity to be involved in this process. So however these paintings turn out, I think really the best thing is that this was an effort made by the local geocaching community to be enjoyed by thousands of people who are coming from around the world. And I really feel that people are going to appreciate that. So, what is next? So far, I managed to clear some space in my in-laws' garage, and we have the canvases set up there right now, so it's not taking over our living room. For the next couple of weeks, I'll be doing some finishing touches on those pieces, and then we get to pack it all up and transport them to the Abbotsford Exhibition Park in the Fraser Valley, and they'll be there ready to greet all of the participants. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at Geowoodstock XVIII, where you can see these live in person. And until then, happy caching.